The Quaza evolution line plays a special role within my heart. Quake Quaza was the first Lego Bay I ever made. I would soon evolve it into Wither Quaza, and then the notorious Ultra Quaza would follow. Ultra Quaza was, well, a formidable opponent, and probably the most notorious Quaza out of the Quaza evolution line. And after the release of episode 1 of Can You Beat Quaza, the Lego Beyblade community joined together and theorized ways to beat this Bay. And well, I never expected Quaza to join the Lego Beyblade community together like this. It's quite incredible. So, in this review, I would like to showcase the newest evolution of Quaza, Typhen Quaza. This new Quaza has a total of 9 gimmicks, and builds off of the legacy Ultra Quaza has placed, or any of the Quazas that I've made in general. However, before we begin this review, there's one thing I have to say. If you enjoy the content of this video, such as this review style and whatnot, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel and shows your support. But, with enough sound, let's get on to the review. To begin with, let's start with the layer, Typhen Quaza. The layer has a total of 8 gimmicks, fitted within a small space, and I'm quite pleased with this result. Let's start with the most obvious gimmick shown on this layer, the rubber. In comparison to Ultra Quaza, Typhen Quaza has less rubber, with 2 rubber contact points rather than Ultra Quaza's 4 rubber contact points. The decrease in rubber has a reason. Using too much rubber on a Lego Bay would make the Bay's performance suffer severely in same-spin matches, and Typhen Quaza is no exception to this rule. To further better Typhen Quaza's performance in same-spin matches, a blade is attached to one of the contact points in Typhen Quaza. This blade will take priority over the other 3 contact points in Typhen Quaza because it simply outranges the other contact points. In other words, opponents will hit the blade more often than the other sides of Typhen Quaza. Apparently, people in my Discord server were quick to point out that the blade acts like a barrier for making opponents not hit the rubber contact points. You could say that the rubber contact points are Quaza's strong side, and the blade is Quaza's weak side. The inclusion of strong and weak sides on Typhen Quaza is similar to Judgment Joker's 50-50 gimmick, so this can be seen as Typhen Quaza's second gimmick. Most of the gimmicks I added to Typhen Quaza were made to counter Ultra Quaza's weaknesses. However, I did transfer some gimmicks from Ultra Quaza to Typhen Quaza. The metal ball and dual spin gimmicks on Typhen were directly transferred from Ultra Quaza. There was also an expanding wing gimmick on Ultra Quaza as well. The wings of Ultra Quaza would expand when the Bay is launched and retract when the Bay is low on stamina. However, I have removed this gimmick on Typhen Quaza and replaced it with an in-battle mode change. Usually when a Bay hits another Bay with enough force, much stamina is lost. With this logic in mind, hitting Typhen Quaza hard enough will extend the rubber wings, and opponents will have more of a chance to hit the rubber than the blade. Because opponents will make more contact with the rubber, Typhen Quaza can hopefully regain some stamina after a hard impact. However, opponents can hit these wings back in with enough force. There is also another feature with this in-battle mode change. Over time, the mechanism for the gimmick will eventually wear down, which makes the in-battle mode change easier to activate. As you can see, the wings of Typhen Quaza have activated only with a few hits in this battle. You could say that this is an awakening gimmick, akin to Variant Lucifer's 2D Chassis Awakening, or Imperial Dragon's Awakening gimmick as well. However, this in-battle mode change could harm Typhen Quaza as well in same-spin matches. If a same-spinning Bay were to activate Typhen Quaza's in-battle mode change and hit the rubber contact points, Quaza will lose a severe amount of stamina. So, I enacted a countermeasure to prevent this. Typhen Quaza's in-battle mode change can be disabled by the disc. As you can see, the disc of Typhen Quaza has 4 tabs on each side, and one of these tabs is blue. If we align the blue tab to Typhen Quaza's rubber contact points, the in-battle mode change of Quaza is active. However, aligning the blue tab to the dragon head or transparent blue side of Quaza disables the in-battle mode change. You can see the disabling and enabling of the in-battle mode change as a mode-changing gimmick. The disc on Typhen Quaza is called 4T and is nothing special, as it is quite simple in design. As mentioned before, the disc allows Typhen Quaza to disable and enable its inbound mode change. However, besides making Typhen Quaza disable and enable its inbound mode change, the 4T disc has another gimmick. The disc's tabs can be pushed out, adding more points of attack. However, these tabs can only be pushed out when Typhen Quaza's inbound mode change is active. If you wanted to, you can count this as another of Typhen Quaza's gimmicks, but I'm not going to. While on the topic of discs, different discs can affect Typhen Quaza's inbound mode change. If we choose a disc without tabs, Typhen Quaza's inbound mode change will always be active. If a disc with tabs is picked, the inbound mode change will not be active. In addition, when using a disc with moving tabs that are in a clockwise direction, Typhen Quaza's inbound mode change is disabled as well. However, a disc with moving tabs that are in a counterclockwise direction will always have Typhen Quaza's inbound mode change active. Continuing, the driver Verse is a complete upgrade from Ultra Quaza's driver Metal. The Verse driver has a giant metal plate surrounding the driver to add weight. In comparison to Metal, the Verse driver severely outperforms Metal in terms of weight. Verse also has great life after death, which helps Typhen Quaza's spin-stealing capabilities. Also, over time the tip of Verse will slowly become more flush with the gray disc surrounding the tip. Once flush, Typhen Quaza will become more of an attack type. This is similar to an Awakening gimmick, which makes Typhen Quaza have a total of 9 gimmicks. However, to make the driver less OP than it already is, the driver's metal disc can be slightly moved to deteriorate Quaza's balance. The entire metal plate also can be completely knocked off of Quaza as well, which will kill Quaza's stamina. So there we have it, Typhen Quaza, the 4th evolution in the Quaza series. Throughout the review, we have seen the many gimmicks of Typhen Quaza, and I'm sure many of you may have some doubts on these gimmicks or be in total surprise. Either way, I'm quite proud of this creation, as it took a lot of tinkering and thought to make this big. However, I hope you guys enjoy this new Quaza, and perhaps find a way to beat it. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. But like always, I'll see you guys in the next video.